It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
Hey, kids and trick-or-treaters! It's the First Time Show.
Timely.
Welcome to the First Time Show. We're talking about Lovecraft Country.
Yep.
We're having a great time with some
I searched
gore
sleeveless
and
hoodie on
violence.
Amazon. The first thing that came up was a hoodie with sleeves. Aren't we past that as a society? Haven't we got? I mean, like,
Brett,
we'll
it's
talk about this more
2020.
tonight, but
Nothing's gonna work the way you want it
Brett,
to
check
this
your
year.
privilege.
Check your
We're
privilege at the
talking
door.
about we're talking about Lovecraft Country, and tonight's episode was called what was it called?
Oops.
Uh,
Start
Can we
to-
tell you, or
Strange
do you want to look it
Case.
up?
Strange
Okay.
Case, yeah, and was directed by Cheryl Dunye.
Do you know why that means something?
Strange Case.
Yeah,
No, what does it mean?
Do you know what it means?
because the novel is called The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I started losing it because the laugh was coming.
Oh, shit.
Can I just say
And
right
I'll
off
see
the
you guys
bat,
later.
yeah. Why does it have to be so gross?
Oh, because it
Because-
has to be.
Because people
Well,
like Steve and Brett are gonna love it.
I gotta be honest. Like,
Every time, there's no better magic in the world to transform into someone else. You don't have to go through the most disgusting.
no, I love it because it makes the whole thing really seem like, hey, magic. The idea of magic is really cool, but the real the thing that they
Reality.
don't tell you about with magic is that, like, sometimes it's really painful and shit, and sometimes it's gross and it's fucked up. It's supposed to be like, this shit isn't perfect. This isn't an OP. Your life isn't perfect just because you have magic. You have to go through the
Yeah,
pain.
I guess
Oh, I thought it was like you sacrifice.
That's what I was gonna say. I like that it makes you sacrifice.
Sure,
something.
essentially.
To use magic, you sacrifice. Because he
Essentially, yeah.
cut his liver out and shit. Isn't this like in line with what has happened before? By the way, I watched this episode with my brother and he was asking me questions and I was like, I mean, I've watched every episode, but I really don't know. I was trying to explain to him what is going on.
Good
He's
luck.
watched every episode too, but he's like, what is going on? I was like, well, there's the children of Adam. And
Well, this one's the
he's
worst.
like, well, what does Atticus want to
episode.
do? And I'm like, he wants to translate these pages. And Brad's like, why? And I'm like, well, because he wants to
Protect
he wants
his
to get his cutie mark, and he wants to find out what his special power is.
Well, and he wants to protect his family too.
His
He
cutie
wants-
mark? Is that a reference to something?
That's a My Little Pony reference.
Whoa. Owen, did you get that?
Who's a brony?
No.
I'm not, but I have been watching My Little Pony because we're developing a different show, and I just want to know what's out there.
You use your
but
job as an excuse, don't you?
100%. But there's a parallel to what he's trying to do and to the ponies trying to get their cutie mark. What is
Oh, I
that?
see.
Is that a pin of the solar system?
It's the design that's on the rings that Atticus has, and the order.
Oh shit!
It's the yeah.
We got a player here.
It was sent to me by HBO. It came in this little
It's
little
sent
bag.
to you by H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft.
HPO.
Wow, there you go.
That fucking thing.
Anyway, so tonight's episode was really gross, but I loved it. I loved the visual effects. I was like, dude, where were these visual
looked
effects
really
in the
good.
Ghost episode? Were they saving
these
all
are-
their budget for this one?
No, I think it's easier.
Said than done.
I don't know. I don't. Jesus, I was gonna say I have no idea how to do any visual effect. It's all magic to me.
Me too.
But I feel like making a human, like skin and body and all of that stuff, people have probably so much to pull from, whereas like creating a creature from scratch is really hard.
Yeah, your brain doesn't have the references, so you kind of accept it more. But something like this is like, we know what skin and shit looks like.
And
so,
if
like,
you are a
it's gotta be
VFX artist and I am completely fucking wrong, please call me out because I don't know. But it just
but-
seems that way. And yeah, this did look better, I thought,
Yeah.
than any of the other CGI.
The thing
So
with and
good.
also like I've seen this isn't my first rodeo as far as transformation scenes go. I've seen my fair share of metamorphosizing humanoid characters in films and television, and I've never seen
You mean like
a
Animorphs?
yeah.
You
yeah.
talking Animorphs? Let me pull up some covers.
No,
Let me pull up some
no,
covers.
no. We don't have to go there. I'll bring the baby out. But like I feel like the way that they had like another body like filling the like area, like coming through the skin into the knuckles and like seeing the head kind of coming up from the back and twisting up to like the top, and like I've never seen a transformation where like another person is like coming out of someone like that.
It was definitely really creative too. Felt like
Yeah.
exactly what you said. I've never seen this way.
Yeah.
Well, it really owned the like caterpillar to butterfly
Yeah.
Wow,
analogy,
yeah, huh.
and you know this body is the cocoon,
Right.
and I like that.
Which body? You can just switch back and forth a bunch. Like, where's that?
No, I think who you are. I mean, I think that she, you know, skipping ahead to the end, she is the real
Ruby.
No. Sorry,
Christina.
the white girl.
Christina and
Christina.
William?
I feel
William
like
and
she is
Christina.
the real person, and William is the cocoon
I
because
see.
she has to put on for the
Oh, she does.
children
Yeah.
of Adam. They don't respect her because she's not a man.
Yeah.
So her sort of like, you know, walking a mile in someone else's shoes is to become a man, whereas Ruby gets to become a white woman and sort of experience that. And you know, if you keep sort of putting pressure on what he was saying of the cycle, you know, once the butterfly dies, it gives birth to the caterpillar, which then goes into the cocoon. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's just very, very, very interesting storytelling. I feel like the whole series has been interesting storytelling, has really challenged like it's challenged what we expect in a really interesting way. And this one just, I feel like hardcore went for it and was just like, we're just going to put it on Front Street, what we're doing here. And we're really, you know, comparing, you know, walking in other shoes and really kind of showing the duality of that. But also I felt like this was a real weed out episode where it was like, meaning like the creators were basically saying, or the showrunners or whoever you want to task with it, the director was basically saying, are you in? Like, are you down for this journey? I said it in the Leftovers with the stoning episode where she got stoned at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was so upsetting and graphic. I feel like this episode is so upsetting and graphic that it's going to turn a lot of people off. And it makes me feel like they're trying to prepare you for what's to come, which makes me very excited. So to your question of like, why does it have to be so gory? It feels like they're basically saying like, yeah, what happened? The history of this country is disgusting and it's gross and it's like hard to look at. And here we're actually going to just put something in front of your face that is also hard to look at.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
amen to all that.
And yeah, it's just they're doing a great job. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm loving about this show, and then there's a lot of things that I take issue with that I'll kind of dig into a little bit as we go through. I feel like do you guys feel like the basement stuff, the stuff that was going on in the basement that Ruby was very curious about, like what's going on in the basement and why you guys keep coming out of there? And Alana noticed pretty early on that like, and I was like pretty sure she was wrong, but I wasn't completely sure, but Alana was saying that the white woman that Ruby becomes looked a hell of a lot like the woman that had the shotgun and the dogs in the town that they drive to where the castle mansion it was.
The one that she like ended up
I don't think
knocking
so,
out
but
on the stairs or
keep
something.
talking, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Oh yes, thank you. Please look it up.
So look it up because there's an interesting theory that
someone else thought it too.
Well, it's like the theory is that in order to like become someone else, they have to be like a dead person.
Someone who was killed.
So,
Ooh.
and the theory is that Christine killed William, or has Christina has William like barely alive in the basement, hooked up to some kind of thing. And also the white woman that Ruby is becoming is also down there, like tied up to some kind of like machine thing.
Well, didn't they say something though about Christina's brother being killed? It could have either have been some analogy.
Oh yeah, it's 100% her.
I told you! I don't forget.
Nice
things.
work,
I should look on IMDb.
Nice
I
work.
just pulled up the episode.
Listen, I gotta tell you guys the retribution because I said it so many times and Steve was like, no. Like, I got torn down, so I have to be excited.
You noticed because
Yeah, Bobby!
Everyone shut up, 'cause Alana's talking. Everyone shut up.
I mean, you earned it.
No, I just wanted to
I
play
earned
it
it. Thank
because
you.
it's a good song. I just want to play it.
I know it's
You
so
earned it.
good.
It's a really good song. Thank you.
Wow, you know, and on Zoom, I heard every bit of it.
Yay!
Cool.
Yay
I
for
guess that's-
Zoom.
Yeah. Alana, thank you for noticing because I always feel like I'm missing like a little piece. Every few scenes, I'm always like,
Yeah.
where did that woman come from? Did I miss something? Like, there's always little bits like that, but I guess they're setting it up and I'm just being dumb and forgetful.
Yeah.
I can confirm it officially.
Well, there you go. Great job, Alana.
Yay!
And I did feel bad for being like, no way. No way.
That's okay. You're allowed to say that when we're
but-
watching.
But
I say it all the
It
time.
doesn't feel like you felt bad enough.
But do you
Was that
guys
the
think,
only dead white woman they had?
well, but like
No, but
maybe not. But if they used her already, if she just died, maybe her body was
well,
like
we'll probably
available.
find out. Right?
I'm
By the
pretty
way,
sure
because of
Letty
this
killed her.
podcast, before
think
we started watching the episode, and the guy, the white guy from Vikings popped up, and I looked at my brother and I was like, "We're pretty sure that the guy and the girl are the same person." And he was like, "Oh, really?" Like he had no idea, and so I looked real smart.
I mean,
Thanks to this
what
podcast and
what
to our emailers.
dude, he could have jumped into any other episode and not had been as confused as he
Oh,
probably
he's been
was.
watching. He's
Oh,
watched
oh,
every
I
episode.
thought- oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
He was just like, "Do you know what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like this and this." And then he started putting pressure on that, and I was like, "No, I don't know what's going on."
Just to clarify really quick, because I initially was a bit confused by the die thing in the final scene of the episode. Does anybody?
Whoa, jump to the final. Okay.
Well, just really quickly, because just so we could get it out of the way. Like,
Okay,
there's not
okay.
Or
much.
we're talking about things that we're confused about?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, because I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with that, and I did a little reading
yeah, no,
about
please
it.
tell.
I guess what it means is the ring, his ring had like an inscription in it of 3 letters, and he thought they were his initials, but it turned out to say die instead. Yeah. So I don't know if that means he's going to die or whatever, but if that
Hashtag Alana's face.
listen, if he is set to die or if he does die, it'll further prove that all of this is about Letty. Like, I think she's the
Oh
one.
yeah.
Like, she's
Well, I
the
think the
important
question-
one, I think, still.
The question is, what part is the girl in Florida playing, and
Right.
what did she know?
Wait, girl in
The
Florida.
Asian
Because
woman.
that's
She's
that's
in
who
Florida?
that's what he said. He was going to go back to Florida because there
Yeah,
was
because that's
a
where she's
girl.
currently living, I thought.
Wait. What? I understood that this was a girl that he knew from during the war times when he was in
Right.
the word I
Korea.
can't think of, Korea or wherever. And he had a relationship with her then, and it ended all weird or whatever. And then he came back to Florida, and him talking about going back to Florida incited him, and her being like, "Are we a thing or not?" Because you were about to leave. I thought that just incited him to tell more about his past with girls.
I guess that could be.
I didn't think it was that she's in Florida, because doesn't he keep calling even on?
Well,
the-
wherever she is, I think she's the
Okay.
one he keeps calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's something about Florida that there's a connection with her.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna.
yeah,
bet
we kind
not.
of got that die was the letters in the ring.
Oh, I didn't get it.
But we were curious about what does she have to do with that and him figuring out. Also,
I don't
how
know
did
if she
he-
has anything to do with that so much as
Okay.
she might have, because I guess
I have an idea.
he says that their relationship ended in a weird way. And it looks like the next episode is going to be
Wait,
a
don't
flash.
spoil it.
Oh.
We watched the next time on.
Oh, did it? Did
kinda
me
thing.
too. Yeah.
Did everybody watch the next on?
Well, some
Owen?
people choose not to.
But
So
you
maybe-
can tell me. I don't care.
There's some extreme
It's gonna be a lost
revelations.
Here's the
episode.
deal.
It's going to be an episode of Lost.
Here's the deal. If you guys don't want to hear about what happens in the preview, press like 15-second skip a couple times or something. But so really quickly, so I can get it out of the way, it looks like it's going to be a flashback episode to Tick in Korea. And it looks like it's going to develop his relationship. It's going to show us his relationship with that woman.
And some like hairy finger thing comes out of her ear.
Yeah, it seems like maybe she's got
Ew.
some like connection to all the Lovecraftian weirdness going on.
I have a new theory.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
spoiler ended. We're done with that in case anyone's listening.
Yeah, here.
Because I feel like there has to be something connecting people.
Now you know. We're done.
And I think it's I think there's going to be something to do with if you've died before. Because obviously Letty's died, and that reference to die, I don't know, it kind of made it in the flash. I don't know. I just kind of felt like
Don't be ridiculous.
this is just a thought, an insight. I thought, I don't know, that there might be something about having died.
Huh. Okay. Whatever, dude. Every guess is good here because who knows what the fuck's going on.
Well, but hasn't everyone died already? At
No.
some point?
You know what?
Only
Really
Letitia
quickly,
and the guy.
You know what
uncle.
What I thought was interesting about this episode was we're seeing these like incredibly horrible sides of these people. We're seeing like sides of these characters that you want to love and you want to feel empathy for, and then they do things like kill a woman in cold blood, and or like sexually rape someone in the back room of a department store. And it's like seeing these characters, you know, and very Jekyll and Hyde, like you were saying, Brett, about the strange case. It seems like Ruby is kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde character, and that's what she's kind
definitely
of
in this
becoming.
episode for sure.
Well, I mean, if she ends up being like kind of
I think we played
addicted
into
to...
that through this whole episode. Yeah, I mean, like when she's
Right.
white, there was she was drawing from like her personal privilege that she had tried so hard to get this job and had gone and got educated and things like that. And this girl hadn't and got the job. So she was drawing off that, but she was using the fact that she was a white woman to like laud over her in that way.
Right.
And
I know,
that's
why would
sort
she
of
be
the
so-
Hyde part?
Right, that's the monster clearly, but like, why was she being so mean?
well, I think
Because
it's
she felt...
two reasons.
Because I think she would have been mean to her as Ruby because she was resentful of her getting the job.
Right.
She was already angry at her, and she was taking that out on her.
Yeah, but
That
then
one
the
part
second
was so great, though. I hope you got it as a clip, Brett. The part where she's going off. Maybe we'll save it if you got it as a clip.
Did you get
I don't
it?
have it as a clip. I only got one clip. I honestly, this episode finished and I was like, oh man, I didn't pull clips. I got one.
I mean, we
But
were
I
just
was just
watching
like-
it. We're
just
just
the
I was,
watching
man,
it.
I was in.
Like,
I
I
know,
was too
just
in.
the part where she's like, white people are up to all kinds of fucked up shit.
Oh,
You
yeah.
even know
right.
it."
Oh, shit, we got to go back and get that. That is such a good
Hold on,
point.
I can pull it live.
Okay,
Yeah, Brett's gonna pull it live.
Wait, I want to say that what I think is the second reason why she was shitty to the other black girl.
Okay.
I think it's because they're also showing us on this show, because they're showing us like instead of how do I put this? Like, instead of making these characters being like, finally we're having front and center the black storyline and it's perfect, they're still giving us these flawed characters, like I mentioned last week. And I think that's really important and incredible. And like, we should be seeing and acknowledging that they're not just giving us these perfect people.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're actually three-dimensional, fleshed out characters.
yeah, and obviously because it's horror, we're getting all the monstrous sides of them. But I think the reason she's mean to her is, one, obviously competitive, and two, because you see it like racism affects everybody, and you see that existing in that culture, you start to have prejudices against your own people as well. And I think they're acknowledging that exists. Like, even I can speak to the feminist issue. A lot of, especially earlier on in feminism, a lot of the people who are fighting hardest to dismantle the feminism were women, because it just gets so ingrained in you that you have to hide this part of yourself and you have to be this certain way, that those are the rules you push on everyone else the hardest, especially when you're the one being shoved down, you know?
Mhm.
So anyway, I think that's what is
Man,
happening.
I do have to
it
say,
sucks.
totally it sucks.
But
It's
she started realizing after doing it, I think she kind of recognized like, ooh.
Yeah.
Something I didn't like about the episode was how Ruby just kept kind of like being able to get out of these places she was stuck in, and we never saw how. And like when she first went for the job interview at the department store,
Yes.
and she started like changing back into Ruby, and then she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and she's like ripping her skin off in the hallway, and she gets into the elevator, and she's just rubbing her blood everywhere, and like throwing skin into the ceiling and shit, and she's like covered in blood, and then it just like cuts to like whatever Tick's up to, and then the next time we see Ruby, she's like perfect and in the bedroom going like, I don't know if I want to do this.
And she still got the job too.
Yeah, she's
Right,
doing the job.
right.
Yeah.
And the other time she's in the closet with this guy, which first of all I have so many questions about.
Yeah, and then they just cut away.
Cut away
And-
and she's fine. She escaped somehow.
and-
No big deal.
Yeah, and the sheriff has like a black man's body
Like,
or something.
he's one of the
Like,
experiments.
What the fuck?
Oh, I know. What's going on?
Well, I think that Epstein.
What do you think's going on?
I think that Epstein guy that was like
Hiram
the ghost
Epstein.
of a fucking
The ghost doctor.
The ghost doctor. I told the ghost doctor I was in love with you.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, did you like how the song we've all heard a million times?
The Cardi
did
B
not-
one?
No, the like oldies song did not start like the correct way. It was so confusing. They played it more than once.
Which
Oh,
one?
I don't know.
It was like fuck, now I'm forgetting it, but it was like it wasn't Bebop Balula, but it was something like that.
Yeah, there were a couple of tracks in the episode that were like, oh, that's a great song. I know that song.
Yeah, but then like there was a couple like words like, at the end instead of like the normal way, it was like bop 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 instead, and I was like, that doesn't go bop bop bop. We
Oh,
just-
interesting. I didn't know.
yeah, but now I'm
That's
forgetting
interesting.
the song. Yeah,
I
I'm
remember
just
that
wondering-
there was a song, but I can't remember which one it was.
Same. And one
I
I,
always-
recognized.
I always remember like 2 or 3 of the songs and the rest I pick
but
capacity.
but I was just bothered by a lot of the like cut around issues like that, and
it's like a Christopher Nolan movie that way.
yeah, but also like at least in the Christopher Nolan movie, they like cover their tracks and explain it. You know, in this, it's like we're not gonna go back and find out how she got completely bloodied and somehow back home,
Yeah, I
like
know.
in the
It's
streets
not
and
like-
stuff.
From the
doesn't
back
really
office
matter.
area.
Yeah,
of,
from
like
the
a
back
department
office of a
store.
department
And she's a black
store.
woman. Like she could probably just get.
Yeah, but it's like,
Like that's a whole episode on its own.
they did that. They did that purposefully. I thought.
I mean,
Oh.
Like she ended up in the alley. She ended up in the like. They were basically saying like, it doesn't matter. She figured it out. What matters is
Yeah,
that
but
she,
I didn't like
is
that.
struggling with popping back and forth.
well, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
get
know,
it.
but-
I get it, but it's like.
Well, because it's like as a filmmaker, you're like, okay, so then we're gonna show her. She's gonna have extra clothes stored here. She's gonna put them on. It's like, who gives a fuck?
But
you know?
you can't establish in a show that these characters are afraid to be out at night at certain times and afraid of like who will see them and judge them or like you know, say that person was doing something
Yeah.
wrong and then suddenly be like they're in the most vulnerable, ridiculously like obvious
Yeah,
position.
I get that.
and-
But we're also talking about a show that had like fucking multi-eyed monsters in the first episode that we haven't talked about.
That's
again.
true, but
That's true.
It's true, but we've seen a lot of weird things. I just think that's like, it's like they obviously didn't have the time to be like, how are we gonna get her home from this? And they
Right.
probably
That wasn't
thought
the
like it
most
would slow the
important, like-
story down, and it would like.
Yeah.
I get that, but I just didn't really like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked to talk about the things we liked. I liked the drag.
Oh, the
show
ballroom.
scene
Yeah.
with that song by what's his name, Moses.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Let me find it again.
I thought
Moses
that was the
Storm?
most. That was the best moment in this show so
This
far.
is it. Moses
I thought that was the
Sumney,
most impactful.
Lonely
Yeah.
World.
Oh,
He's great. He's got a lot of good songs.
Apparently, I just found that. That was one of my 3 songs that I found and I'm like obsessed with now.
You want
Such
to
a
be
good
credit to your
choice.
race,
Like,
you have to be better than mediocre. And do you want to know why? Because white folks are even more fucked up than you think they are. They have got shit you can't even imagine. That's why you gotta be exponentially better than them so you don't end up in some closet half dead with your tongue cut out.
Miss Davenport.
Yeah, that like the show's been great, but I think there is like a level of camp to the execution of the show.
Yeah, true.
That scene to me like elevated it up a little bit. Like I thought that was such a well executed scene.
Totally. I just feel like they're like cutting corners, and they're telling us what's important in the story, and they're showing us what's important in the story, but it's like it seems just a little bit sloppy.
It feels like they
Oh, I mean, they're trying to do a lot for sure.
Yeah, but I guess
what the reason I wanted to call it that scene is because it's like we just saw that character kill somebody last episode. You know, this episode his son beat him up. We've been like questioning his sexuality. And in this episode, it's like they took that moment to go. It almost felt like the show was taking a moment to go, like, you don't know about this character yet. And we're gonna take like it feels like the moments they're choosing to really highlight are important to the overall narrative. And I think they know they're taking like a pulpy, campy approach to the overall narrative or to the overall storytelling. But when they take a moment to really like zero in and go like, this is a really difficult, challenging part of the story that we want to tell, it felt like they perfectly executed that moment where it's like, we see him super vulnerable. You know, we learn a lot about that character without him speaking a word. Like there's even that scene where everybody's talking around him and he doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I learned so much more about that character than I have in any of the previous episodes, and he didn't speak. And I just thought that was really interesting. And that's like, I feel like the way that the show is crafting this narrative is those are the moments I really want to pay attention to. And I felt like in this case, it made me think, oh, the show wants me to know that this is a good guy. And that even though he killed the woman or ancient deity or whatever it was,
happy.
The twin flame, the
like
two flame.
He did it for a good reason. Meaning like
spirit.
I felt like the way the show executed that scene, and they could have missed, but because they did it so well, I took away, oh, the dad is trying to protect his son, and the shit his son is trying to do is going to be really, really, really bad. And now I'm worried about Atticus. I'm worried about our main character because now I believe that the dad is a good person and a good, like, I think it basically showed us like it's a very complicated person, but I think that that's the character that we should have some compassion for. And to that end, I'm like, oh, now I'm more nervous about what they're doing in the basement.
I mean, he's not. Yeah, he. They really do establish him as kind of a monster because we love Tick so much, and he talks about how he's thought about killing his own dad.
But he spits in his hand before he fucks a guy in the ass. He's a caring, good person.
Yeah, no, it's just that they took time in the episode to like really hammer home how bad of a guy he is, and for beating his son so consistently.
I'm with Brett on the dad on Montrose.
Yeah, no, it was
Montrose.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting to see him completely feeling not like he's fitting in with his friends and his lover, and then he kind of just lets go and realizes that like he needs to accept.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
like in
who
this
he
episode,
is.
you saw his entire evolution. He went and took out what happened with him and Tick on his lover or boyfriend or wherever they are. It's like he took it out on him. Like it was not like a passionate lovemaking. He was obviously trying to, and then by the end of the episode, you sort of saw him evolve and like move past that with this person. So it's like,
you said you think the sexual encounter between Montrose and Sammy is that
Sammy, yeah,
was like violent?
I think it was aggressive.
I don't think it was.
I
think it was.
It wasn't as tender as the two of them on the dance floor.
Right.
Well, he hadn't got to that spot yet, so of course it wasn't. But that, I mean, still.
Well, it seems like they have a deeper relationship than we know, and I think
the thing that I noticed was that the way he came in and it's the bartender, right?
Yeah.
Well, he
the way
owns
the bartender
that bar.
was like, oh, was this group or this group? Meaning like, who beat you up this time?
Yep.
Because it made me feel like he always comes over after he has one of these encounters.
100%.
And that's where I was like, oh, he always takes out this anger or aggression or whatever he has, he brings it here.
Right.
And
I
by the
don't
end of
see-
the episode,
that's-
we saw him like.
I see that
That's
too.
where I disagree also.
But also, I see that Sammy's friends know about his relationship with Montrose and even make fun of them for not having even kissed yet. But they've been seeing each other for so long that the friends even know about them. So it's like there's kind of like a deeper thing that we're now just being let into with his relationship with Sammy. And I agree with Brett. I think he takes his aggression out.
I don't.
Well, it's a struggle. I think
but
it's
I don't
a
think
struggle.
I don't think that's their entire relationship, though. I don't think Montrose goes over there just to get his aggression out. I think Montrose has a relationship with this guy. I think they are close and potentially lovers. But I
Yeah,
just think
Sammy-
I just think in
Sammy
this
was definitely
particular
enjoying
moment we were seeing, because Sammy was enjoying it. I think in this particular moment we were just seeing an aggressive sex scene because of how Montrose was feeling in that moment. But I don't think that's what their relationship is like.
Can I say my version?
Yeah.
I see it as he goes to Sammy afterward to be intimate with someone and lick his wounds. And he's just not in a place yet personally where he can kiss him until the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any sort of, what is the word you guys were using? Like having retribution or getting back at or heading in his aggression
Or
out
taking
whatever.
out his aggression.
Yeah, I don't think he's taking anything out. I think the only place he can show any of his actual softness of who he is and his heart and all that and intimacy in his life is with Sammy. And it's unfortunate that it's still to such an extent where he can't even kiss him yet. But I think, to me, I see that's him going there and always going there after these fights as he's like licking his wounds. He's like finding a place where he can be intimate and close with
I agree with
someone.
that. I think that he what I'm trying to say, I guess what I was saying is like he can't admit to himself that he feels compassionately about this person until the end of this episode.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
it's like while he does and while he goes to him when he is feeling this way, which in and of itself is a form of compassion, he can't outwardly show that till the
Yeah.
end of this episode.
Absolutely.
I thought that was really interesting. I also think it's super interesting that we are this transfixed on this part of an episode.
I know.
Well, 'cause it's awesome.
A
boys.
woman tore out of another woman's skin
Well,
and then
'cause-
violated
'cause
a man
you
with a
s-
high heel.
Well, because you said it, Brett. Like,
But it's like it really is. This was one of the most interesting parts of this episode.
right,
And
because
it was like the best scene. My favorite scene was the scene at the end with Montrose. So
well, it's because we like
Yeah.
that character, but we've seen him do terrible things, and now we need to learn why he does terrible things.
Well, he
and
also
we have
has
to
a
learn.
Jekyll and Hyde. in
Right,
this episode.
exactly. It seems like everybody does. But I believe Letty when she says that this magic shit is going to be bad for everybody and not end up being a good thing. It doesn't mean that I don't think they should be dabbling in it. I just think that, because I do believe it's going to take, like, Tick learning some kind of magic to be able to fight back against these evil people. I think they're really going to truly have to use magic, maybe. But I think she's right about how it's like a bad thing too, and I think there's corrupting.
Well, she said it was evil.
Right, and the way Ruby's using it, it truly does seem like it is.
I'm with Tick. I think it's how you wield it.
Or at the very least, it can be.
But yeah, I think we'll see that it is more about how you wield it, and but I think it might ultimately lead to one of those things where it's like, now that we've protected our family, we like bury it or something. We never use magic again or something. Like, I don't know. It might go there, because I do think that type of power is very corruptible and easily corruptible, and you know,
Some Lord of the Rings shit.
yeah, for sure. Always that kind of power is corruptible, but we'll see. Anything else we want to talk about in the episode?
Yes.
Go ahead. Alana, you want to do Alana's thoughts?
Well, let me just say a couple of normal things first.
Okay.
I was wondering earlier, Brett, when you mentioned the butterfly analogy that William uses. William. I don't know the scientific fact on this or whatever, but when he used the butterfly analogy, he never said to go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. He always said to go from a butterfly
To a caterpillar.
caterpillar.
Yeah.
And is that true, that it's just the same like molecules? I mean, you know, obviously a lot of things are the same molecules. Let me put that differently. It's the same like matter as the dead butterfly shit that turns into a caterpillar? Is that true?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, cool.
Brett's looking it up.
I looked up so much stuff on the interim. I did not have time to get to that. But
Owen,
but I just thought like,
what was that face you were making?
Wait, are we talking?
I thought it was really interesting though, because like that's not an accident. Normally people always say the analogy caterpillar to butterfly. So like, why is he saying it that way? Is he insinuating that being black is less than, that you're becoming a caterpillar, you're becoming less evolved, or you are less evolved and you become with wings and then get rid, like, I don't know. The whole thing was just
analogy
like,
really breaks down if you go backwards.
huh?
The analogy doesn't work with a caterpillar and a butterfly if then it doesn't turn back into a caterpillar.
Well, apparently he said it
Yeah,
does.
that is
the
the way he said it. It was weird.
He said that the cells die or whatever, and that's what a caterpillar is born out of, is that
Yeah.
like the carcass pretty
Yeah,
much.
he
And
said
I don't know if that's why I'm asking for a Google, because I don't know.
Oh, I
is
see, I
that
see.
true
Oh,
or not? And the whole
That's how
thing
they,
was
you're
weird.
saying that's how they reproduce?
Well, no, this is what he said. He
when
never
he was
said
talking
you
about
turn-
metamorphosis, when he was like, the butterfly is flies and blah blah blah, and then it becomes a caterpillar,
Yeah, that's
which
how he
has the
said it.
same cells. Like he says it
He
exactly
said
like
it
that.
way instead of saying
Yeah, I
a
kinda
caterpillar turns
remember.
butterfly. And also, and that again cycles in with the death to life thing. And also, my next question on that scene is, we see the butterflies on his wall, like pinned to the wall, those like beautiful blue butterflies. And then when they're flying around her, are those butterflies come to life? Because obviously they're the only butterflies around. So, is the whole thing like
butterflies
life
lay
death?
eggs that become caterpillars that then go through metamorphosis and become a butterfly that lays eggs. So yes,
maybe they're just trying to twist the words to get us to think of it as the metamorphosis relates to death. Because that's kind of why I'm thinking that die written on his ring is going to have to do with people who've died. There's some power there.
oh,
like,
I should have kept reading. Maybe the butterfly lays eggs like right before dying.
Really? Is that what it says?
No, I'm saying maybe. I closed the window already. We'll never know.
Hypothetically.
But what do you guys think?
I mean, there's literally no way to know at this point.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
an
know.
What do you
that
guys
do
I
think of
X'd
that?
out the window, Owen.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on
gone.
this. I think
I think it's significant.
I mean, maybe the character doesn't understand the like.
He just is stupid.
Well, maybe it's like maybe they're like aliens or something, or they're like Lovecraftian from a different dimension. And they don't understand things. Or
I don't think
something.
so.
Butterflies work different over there.
I know,
Yeah.
like, Christina has proven that she's really intelligent at the very least. I think.
I don't know. I have no theory. I don't know what to say.
I
She
think
reminds me of the girl in Last Crusade.
Yeah, Ilsa.
Mhm.
I have to Google that to have a visual.
Why don't you just Google that?
Okay, I have one more question. I was
Okay.
wondering if there's anything to do. They had a few mentions of the white woman that Ruby becomes, Hillary. There are multiple mentions of her being Irish, like indirectly mostly. And I was wondering about that. Like, is the script specific enough that that's meant to give us clues? Because why would they have so many specifications of Irish descent specifically when this is all, like, wouldn't it just be whiteness? They have the most significant one is when he kisses her hand and they're flirting, or what he's flirting with her, whatever, and he says it's not like the Blarney Stone or whatever. And the Blarney Stone concept is there's a building in Ireland, and I don't know if the whole building it's made of Blarney Stone. It's a type of stone, and if you kiss the stone, it's meant to give you the gift of gab, so you can like be witty and good at talking, whatever. That's the reference he's making. But like all these references that people make towards her are specifically about being Irish, not just normal white. And so I'm also kind of wondering, like, well, if that is the same girl, is there something to do with who she was? And then I started thinking, I wonder if Ruby has any Irish in her from like the past, because even Letitia, oh my God. Letty, that name though, Letitia, I Googled, I mean, this is just off of a Google, so I don't know if it's how accurate it is, but apparently is like a name from the Middle Ages that was really common in like England and Europe, UK area. And I know that it's not to say that that's the only culture that ever uses that name, but I don't know, maybe there's some suggestion there might be like Irish shit in their past, or I'm digging too deep and don't give me
It might be a
don't give me dewdrops show.
It
might be
an
just from
era thing. It might be like
could be an
during
era
that time
thing.
period. It might be a lot of like Irish migration.
Yeah,
I don't
they're-
know. I have no idea.
It also
Yeah,
could just
totally.
be something
Especially
from the book
Chicago.
that has like no real
Could be from the
special
book.
significance. It's just what they're called
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I like to
Like
dig
how-
in.
Like how Morgan Freeman is Irish in Shawshank Redemption.
Right. Red. They call him
Oh.
Red. And they call him Red because he's supposed to have red hair and shit. Because that's what. It
Yeah,
was
he's
in
a
the
white
short
guy with
story.
red hair. He's an
No.
Irish guy in
Yeah.
the book. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And they just
Um,
left it in the movie. It's really
It's great.
funny.
It's great.
Well, I think there's going to be something to do with their heritage, their bloodline coming up. That's why I'm kind of like digging in there.
Do you guys want to move on to?
Yeah, this is my favorite episode so far.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Whoa.
I
Wild
love
card
this. I thought
Brett
This was great.
coming in hot.
This was this
I think-
this felt like the show earned like it took the 4 episodes to get here, but this was like, oh, we're in it now. Now shit's getting real.
Bingo, donkey boy.
I think I like 3 the best.
In the-
3?
the ghost one.
Ghost,
Yeah.
Ghost House.
Not me.
I think I still like the first
I mean,
one the best.
The pilot, yeah, but post pilot, this was the best one.
I'm not sure yet.
Post pilot is the one that killed Jesus, right? All right. Where are we? What are we doing now? Alana's thoughts.
I do have thoughts.
All right, Alana has
well, I
thoughts.
thought we've been in
You can
Lana.
clip
That's what I thought too, but
Well,
we got
sorry,
more
boys.
thoughts. Here we go.
Everyone shut up, cause Alana's talking. Everyone shut up, it's Alana's notes.
I love it.
It's been weeks since I've heard that. That's a great song.
I'm trying to designate the
On
difference.
the Discord, it's just a mess.
You don't listen to the show?
No.
Silence.
Right now. I'm listening to it right now. It's
That
great.
makes sense.
I'm
That
a big
makes sense.
fan.
I mean, I don't either. It's not like I'm judging you or anything.
I'm trying to designate the difference between talking in general and what my thoughts are. Okay, so there wasn't really much history stuff this week, and we didn't have time to research, and I really went overboard last week, so hopefully that's cool. My thoughts this week are just all about the fashion. So I finally Googled the fashion designer, the costumer, because I'm stupid. I don't know why I didn't do it before. Her name's Dana Pink. Cool, very cool. And
a stage name?
it sounds like a stage name, but I don't know if it is or isn't. Okay, I wanted to mostly point out the gloves. I think my favorite items. I mean, the whole ballroom scene, everything in the ballroom scene, the scene at the end, the like drag queens being epic and incredible. That whole scene. I don't know if it was called ballroom back in 1950, but they call that. That would be called ballroom today. It's very much things and complicated, but anyway, that's the ballroom scene. So when I say ballroom, that's what I'm referencing. Incredible. Every single thing in that scene was incredible. We got to see some lingerie this week, 1950s lingerie, and I have
See some lingerie come off.
and
You did see some lingerie come
Can you
on.
imagine how much work to get naked back then?
Yeah.
My lord, yeah. Also, everything just ripped really easily. I'm sure you're just like, well, fuck.
So what?
Yeah.
You want us to tell them that wizards exist?
There's my delicate silks. I have a question. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to have the answer. I tried Googling it and I could not figure it out. When we see Letty's lingerie in the most epic sex scene I've probably
It's a
ever
great
seen.
sex scene.
Such a good sex scene. When we see her lingerie in that,
I told you
the
to
bra
stay away
is
from
very
this grand wizardry
1950s.
shit.
I should have let it go. I didn't even hear what started. The bra is super 1950s, but the panties she's wearing, to me at least, look super modern, like very 2010. And I tried Googling, could not find any panties like that. They're sheer and they have a little frill on the side, but they're like cheeky, like butts coming out. And my understanding of 1950s lingerie is that butt is not allowed to come out. It covers the whole butt, full cheek
There were
coverage.
like bloomers or something.
Well, listen, I know you're not shopping for types of panties, but let me give you an example here. This is a butt.
I hope someone listened to this episode for the first time up to here and was like, "This is a really good analysis of this show." And now it's fart jokes, so that they get. I don't want them to be misled.
So panties these days.
I don't think Miss Pink would do that to us. I think she did the research.
These days, panties go more like this. And on Letty, they went like this. But in the 50s, usually panties cover here. Full cheek. Anyway, so if anybody knows, let me know. I'm going to move on from panties, obviously.
Hold on, let me Google on my work computer panties in the 50s.
Yeah, and they're sheer. So, right, sheer also.
Okay, sheer.
My other favorite
A lot
item.
of pictures of Paul Shear pop up.
My favorite item was the red gloves that Ruby's wearing as Hillary.
Yeah, I noticed
They're like
those.
super short and just like,
When she's like holding the newspaper and stuff.
oh, they're so
Yeah.
chic and perfect and just like, every item of clothing on this show. I saw an article that was considering if this show has the best costume design since Mad Men. And I was like, amen. I'm in on that.
Wow.
Some
I'm
good
about
stuff
it.
for sure.
I really think there's less characters to dress as frequently in this, I think. But I think it's going to
I
win.
got like eBay
But all
up
the-
here.
Whoa.
See, those full
Oh, no,
coverage, the
hold on.
butt.
All the background extras and stuff too, though. It's so much work.
I know.
Those are
The
full
costumes in
coverage,
this
right?
are fucking
Yeah,
killer.
that's full coverage.
Those are full coverage, baboosh.
Mhm.
These are all vintage. Oh, what about that one?
Possible.
Granny panties.
Oh my god.
I love a fucking good part.
Okay,
All
so
right.
the last thing
Last thing.
is the stilettos. I found out they weren't always going to use a stiletto for the scene with the stiletto, with the heel going in the guy's butthole. They weren't always going to use.
Allegedly.
I think pretty.
Wait, where did
clearly.
it go?
Huh?
Where did it go? Where did the?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
You just did a pull my finger joke.
I know.
That was an elevated pull my finger.
I'm not
Where did the
above it.
stiletto go?
I'm not above it.
Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, stilettos are a certain type of heel. They're not just all heels are stilettos. Anyway, and apparently, so I've been trying to figure out when these episodes take place, like what year exactly. And I don't know if you guys have found more clarity. I've only found estimates, like, well, it's got to be between these times based on these facts, right?
Mm.
And even on the podcast, they were not specific, and you could tell it was on purpose. And I was like, dang it, tell me. But they said they used a stiletto. They went back and forth between what tool she was going to use, whether it would be a stiletto or not. And they landed on the stiletto partly because apparently the stiletto was invented the year this episode takes place.
Oh, so it was supposed to be like a fancy, brand new type of shoe.
Well, that's why when they first pull it out, when everyone's behind in the like back, and they pull it out like try on these, it's a really special deal to try those on because this is like you've never even seen a shoe like this before. This is absolutely incredible. But I googled when stilettos were made, and apparently the year they were made.
1952.
Well, apparently the year they were made was 1950, but some sources say it's between 1950 and 1954, and I think that would be based on like where you're located and when they started making them in your area, etc. So
Yeah, 'cause they probably came from like Paris or something, right?
it was Ferragamo, I believe, who made them, and I
just
think
read
he's
the
Italian.
first ad. The first stiletto ad was in 52.
That would make sense. Oh, shit. So I think we can assume that the stiletto was invented. I think this is supposed to take place in like 1950, maybe 1952, something around there.
52?
The thing is that the war that Atticus was supposed to be in ended in 1954. I have it somewhere in my notes, but I believe it ended in 1954, and he's supposed to have come home after the war unless he was like released early, and so that doesn't quite line up with.
I thought we talked about the show was this is based in 1954.
Is it?
That was
I
always
haven't
my
been able to
assumption.
find that info. I mean, I'm not the best Googler, which I know sounds weird, but it's true.
I don't buy
Anyway,
it.
I love the whole stiletto. I love that they used a stiletto. Fantastic. And I think this is a good transition if you guys have anything to say about that scene, because holy shit, that scene. Steve, you had a Reddit comment that I wanted to respond to.
Yeah, someone said
Wait, I Googled it. Literally says Lovecraft Country takes place in 1954 and 1955.
There you go. It's 54.
The series' third episode reveals that certain events take place in the summer of 1955. The 1954 date comes directly from the novel of the same name by Matt
spoiler
Ruff.
alert.
Fantastic. So 54 it is. And I love that it's fresh stilettos, their first use.
I would love it if we went to Studio 54 at some point in the show, since we're in 1954.
Oh no.
So I would love to talk about.
I mean, you lost Steve and Alana too, right?
I know. I lost.
Yeah.
I lost everyone.
How
so.
both of them? They're on two different.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, we're
Did
back.
we freeze?
I
Maybe the
think
internet
we got
farted.
a little hiccup. But
Me and Owen remained just fine throughout that.
It's so weird that both of you froze. It was freaky.
well, it's
Gotta
because
be
we're
the
both on the
internet.
same internet.
That didn't make it any less freaky.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I scared you, my friends. But internet connection issues happen.
The Reddit.
Oh, so some people are really upset about that scene, saying that it was like way too gratuitous of a rape scene, and that it was needlessly violent from a character that is supposedly supposed to be like a good guy, like a good.
What? He's not a good guy.
No, the girl is
We're
supposed
talking
to be a
about the
good
No,
girl.
Ruby.
Ruby.
I think that
Ruby sexually raping that man with a high heel shoe.
Stiletto.
With a
He
stiletto.
gets what's coming to him.
Well, yeah, but
I think that's that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shit where it's like when she's wearing the white woman's skin, she becomes a different person.
She has the
But,
power.
It's
like-
not the same character. She becomes a much more,
but like her character
entitled and
can't-
aggressive character.
Her character shouldn't be able to get away with that, though.
Well, I have a response. So I listened again to the podcast, the official Lovecraft Country Lovecraft podcast.
Country?
You had your hearing tested.
Anyway, I listened to it, and in that they talked a lot about this scene, and the woman on the show who was a writer on Lovecraft said that they spoke a lot about that, and they spoke about that specific concept that like this is maybe too far or too intense, or they talked a lot about needing to show him doing something bad enough to feel like it merited Ruby stiletto raping him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I'd say Scream probably sold us on that.
what Scream?
When he was attacking that girl, and then when he
Yeah.
screamed at her as she's running away, like, yeah,
Well,
okay.
good. I'm glad you feel
Bad.
that way. Because
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, obviously
Wait,
he's
I'm not
bad.
done.
Yeah.
So what they said in the writer's room, though, was they caught themselves once they were a good amount into that conversation and realized, wait a minute, white male characters are constantly doing rapey shit, and it's always like, oh, she asked for it, whatever. Like, there's never a reason. There never seems to have to be a reason bad enough to incite them doing that. And they're like, well, it's stupid that just because she's a female, we're making it like this guy has to be so evil for us to allow her to do something this shitty to him, even though he deserves it. And that's why they, like, purposefully at peace with just showed that bit where he's obviously not a great person sexually with other people, and then let her go ahead and have a violent ass rape of him.
I mean, I've never seen a movie or anything, and I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there is a movie like this out there, but I've seen a lot of fucked up movies, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, I think that
Like as far as,
Monster?
like I see both sides, but I think that what Steve is responding to is like if the roles were reversed, male and female, we would look at that man with the heel in his hands and be like, wow, that's a really bad guy.
yeah,
That's a bad person.
yeah,
And so I think that to that degree, I think the show giving such a like well executed redemption to the father, to Atticus's father, I think they're purposefully saying like, hey, Ruby's got some like a dark side and she's maybe not as good of a person as you thought she was at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I just think they're saying that she's capable of whatever. And this is obviously, we know she's in her Hyde space or Jekyll space, whichever is the bad one, where she's like feeling like she could do whatever she wants, no problem or whatever that the guy says.
Because she told her,
Christina tells her.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can actually do anything or whatever.
Like, I'm okay with like revenge.
But we also don't know if Christina is a good. She might be the villain.
Right.
Well, I'm not
Christina?
saying she's a good
Yeah,
person.
Christina.
I'm saying when she.
But what I
takes
mean
that
is like
substance,
Ruby feels
though-
like she's falling in with them, and she's going to be an ally.
All I'm
to
saying
them.
is like I'm a sucker for a piece of shit, rapist, racist, asshole,
Rapist,
getting murdered in a terrible way. I just think that like seeing Ruby do that was like, oh, she's like she's like a psychopath. Like that's like she could have just murdered him and that would have felt like a redemption. That would have felt like he got what he deserved. But it being such an extremely intense like rape was like, holy shit, this is a psychopath we're watching here, essentially.
There must have been something what was that movie that Bree showed us?
Which one?
The most disgusting movie I've ever seen in my life.
The one we saw at Oh, I loved that movie. Shit, what was it called? It was like one word. Brett, remember that movie with the girl who has like a toilet licking fetish?
Alana.
No.
No, shit, what is it called? I forgot what it's called.
Wet
I mean, I can
things.
Google it.
Oh, it's called Wetlands.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck is that sound? It's called
Talking about society.
It's called Wetlands, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
You brought it
I was just
up.
thinking.
No, I
There
didn't
must
bring
have
it
been-
up. Owen did.
I brought it up because I was trying to think of a movie that had like something as disgusting.
Yeah, that one was pretty gross.
There must have been
like,
something like that in there.
Well, there was like a. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it because you're right. It's
Yeah,
real
like-
bad. It's real bad.
We don't have to go all the way down the rabbit hole. I think the conversation is like, yeah, I think that in everything we've seen from media, this guy didn't do anything bad enough to justify
Yes.
what happened to him.
Exactly.
And then I think the counterpoint to that is, well, what is too bad?
Yeah.
Like if he's clearly like a little bit of a predator, or if he's what little we saw of him is like the tip of the iceberg, if we're assuming that, then what is too bad? You know what I mean? Like how bad does he have to be to justify it? I just think it's an interesting like conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean it's a
to have with your
horror.
friends.
It's a horror show with like really gory fucking shit going on and really extreme violent deaths. And
Did that guy die?
I mean, there's no way that guy's alive.
Well, I also have the question, why did she tell her so much you can do whatever you want when you have this? Like, does that mean what you did while you were someone else, like there's some magic that erases part of it, or
No,
maybe
I think
erases
she was
people's
saying
memories?
like, I think she was a little bit. I think there was like a two-hander there where it's like, there's no consequence. If you do this as this white woman and then you just never become her again, there's no consequence for what you've done. So you can do anything. But then she chose to show him who she really was,
Yeah.
so that he knew who was doing this to her. So it was like she sort of took the advice and then sort of didn't take the advice at the same time. So
Like,
I don't know. I think that's interesting.
For me,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
agree.
I think she could have like cut his dick off and then showed him who she was and then took off, and that would have been like less aggressive. I feel like
Of the two scenarios, which would you rather have done?
honestly, like
I like the rape because I think it says a lot about the power
don't
play.
Please, no one clip out.
No,
I
make
like
a
the
clip.
rape.
I don't actually like rape. And we should also put a warning at the beginning of this episode that
yeah,
we're
that's a
talking
good
about
point.
this
That's a
stuff.
good point because it is. I mean, it was an intense
Very
moment
sensitive.
and
And deliberate.
and deliberate. Yeah,
You
and
write it
deliberate.
and
But I
execute it.
think-
There's a lot of thinking that goes
But
into
also
that.
rape
Mhm.
rape area crimes are usually so much about power, and cutting off someone's dick is just an act of violence. Like, okay, you can suggest
Well,
that
I'm not
it's
saying
related
that
to
would have been
sexuality.
a better scene. I'm just saying like
No, I'm saying
yeah.
why the purpose for the scene is, I think the reason it's rape is it's about power. It's about her showing him that she's dominant and he's has to like bend to her will, like, you know, what classically rape is apparently meant to be.
Yeah.
About.
Or at least part of it.
All right. Well, is that all for the thoughts?
Don't talk. The rape part was not in my thoughts.
Okay,
My thoughts
all right.
was the fashion.
All right. You're right. All right. Let's get to these.
Oh, and it was the stiletto.
The damn
The
stiletto,
stiletto,
baby.
that's right.
1950. Give me my feet.
All right. Let's get to the clips. How about some clips?
Oh, shit. We got
Clips.
here. Again, please.
All right. Oh, should I play?
And you know what they call me, tree, right? Most men got 2 legs. I got 3.
Shouldn't I already know that? Since we fucked in high school, Seymour?
Oh!
I don't give a fuck, Becca Goo.
All right. There's one clip, and here it is.
You've been William this whole fucking time?
We got
great.
2
The sign
now.
made me laugh.
Well, yeah. Why you want to hear it again?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
You want to be a credit to your race? You have to be better than mediocre. And do you want to know why? Because white folks are even more fucked up than you think they are. They have got shit you can't even imagine. That's why you got to be exponentially better than them so you don't end up in some closet half dead with your tongue cut out.
God.
All right.
Oh man, there was another clip.
What was up with that, by the way? The guy hanging in the closet. We didn't even
Serious.
get into.
I know.
There's so much.
I mean, it's kind of like I have no idea, so we don't need to talk
Obviously,
about it too much. But holy shit.
those guys have some sort of weird cult shit going on.
Well, they're in the cult. They're just not like
Yeah.
official head guys. They're
Right.
just like lowly in there, boys.
I think they've enhanced themselves with body parts and stuff that the doctor that's dead now
truly
put on them, which is
the
disgusting.
fuck.
There was
The
another
fuck.
clip I was hoping you would grab. It was when she was describing that they threw his body in the river like he was trash. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Like, it was about like how they stabbed him and or shot him or something.
Well, I didn't, Owen.
Whatever.
All right, let's get to the emails now. How about that? Does that sound good?
Emails.
Ping pong, ping pong ball.
Look who's here.
Don't be ridiculous.
Your daughter.
I don't give a. I don't give.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't.
Oh, shit.
Billy Ray. I don't give a.
Some mustard stain.
I don't.
Emails.
I don't give. I don't give a. I don't give a. I don't give a fuck, Becca. I don't give a fuck, Becca Goo. Tell someone else.
All right. That's a mud butt. Someone's got mud butt. All right. Chris Edward Meningo sends an email called Episode 4, love it.
4?
They're sending us an Episode 4 email?
Yep.
Mm,
Read it, boy.
nah.
What?
The next email comes from Beto Guevara.
Beto.
Beto. He says, positive outlook. Hello, gang. You thought that the subject of this email was a good thing. Psych. It means I tested positive for COVID, bitches. Oh, no.
Are you serious?
In all
I'm so
seriousness,
sorry.
I'm very lucky and the virus should not be taken lightly. I have very mild symptoms and don't need to go to the hospital.
Oh, good.
Please be careful out there. Also be careful in there because I did not leave my house that much. In regards to
You
the
have to
last
walk across the entire country.
Yeah, that's true. You did walk across the
Why'd
country.
you-
But I don't think it would have
dirty?
survived on him for that long, would it have?
Well, are you a doctor, Steve?
I don't know. I keep hearing it doesn't survive very long on surfaces. But we'll see. Who knows?
From doctors.
In regards to the last episode, episode
Jekyll.
4, more episode 4s? Come on.
Steve, we chose to record this when most people couldn't, and we said we will read your last episode.
I didn't say that. Who said that? You said that?
I'm pretty sure all of us said that. Brett, didn't you say that too?
Brett, did you say that?
Well, this isn't about me.
Brett?
Oh my God. Just read them, Steve.
I don't know why I gotta get pulled into this.
Did you say that, Brett?
Most
Doesn't have
people
anything
can't
to do
bring
with
their
me.
Listen,
emails quick enough.
If we're gonna read emails from past episodes, we're gonna be reading emails for hours.
No, just because we record so quick and it's not even released.
Listen, I understand, and my heart bleeds for the people that can't get their goddamn emails in on
He
time.
has recorded things.
I truly bleed internally in my body. I'm bleeding because of it. But I promise you, the show will still
I'm not
be
gonna read them.
entertaining if we read the emails from people that watch the show and then when it airs. I mean, this is the problem with doing a show that airs.
Okay, boy.
We can't accommodate meow. Anyway, it says in the email that there were some clip requests from Brett. Did you request some clips, Brett? Do you remember doing
they're
that?
right here at the bottom of the email.
Let's just assume I don't remember anything that I've done before right now.
He says it's my first time recording audio, so if it's really bad, maybe you can keep it to yourselves. But like safe distant kisses, cause like cough cough, Don Beto. P.S. Steve, please let me know if you don't like MP3s and I can make something else in the next email. MP3s are fine.
Also, let me know if you don't like MP3s.
Let Brett know via Twitter if you don't like MP3s.
Because I've been delivering you MP3s.
One and only
Beto.
Okay.
Did we ask for an intro for him or something? Did we all hear it? I could barely hear it, but that's okay.
Can we play it before his emails?
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's as loud as it gets, unfortunately.
Okay, well, let's hear it twice.
All right.
Send it to me. I'll boost it.
welcome the wickedly talented one and only
Beto. I'm hoping that means I pronounced it right.
And then here's another one he sent.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only
I love it.
Oh, that's us saying it.
I love it.
Oh, I didn't know it's us saying it.
Yes,
That's
we
great.
need to boost the volume and get that going.
Thank you, Beto.
Yeah, send that to me.
Yay, Beto.
Forward that email to me, and I'll take care of it.
Mohammed bin Nasir sends an email saying pacing issues.
Oh, yeah, because this is episode 4 still.
He says, hello to everyone present on this episode. I agree with Alana's point from the last podcast about the moments when they set up a challenge for the characters to overcome, only for it to be resolved very quickly with very little explanation. It leaves me a little confused and takes me out of the episode. Like, how did the tunnels from a museum in Boston lead back to a house in Chicago? This was never addressed in episode 4. It also means that we aren't allowed to sit with important character moments as the show is determined to churn through as much plot as possible in one episode. Do you guys think that some of the pacing issues could have been addressed if the story was told over 2 episodes? The second episode was especially guilty of this. I think that could have been 2 to 3 episodes long. I love the show and hearing you guys every week. Mo.
Thanks, Mo.
Real quick, just wanted to say this is the first episode of Lovecraft I've watched with my brother. He's been watching along, and right before this episode started, he goes, "You saw the last episode, right?" I was like, "Well, of course." And he goes, "Man, that was the best one so far." So the Register brothers on our hot takes are 100%.
My goodness.
He's like, "Man, I loved that one. Was great."
You guys are some
He's been a little
wild
uneven on the
cards.
show.
Do you
But
have,
yeah,
like,
he loved the Goonies one.
do you have internal clock issues too?
We're just we're just a ball of chaos.
Do you experience
We're just-
headaches, nausea,
Diarrhea?
Young Wolfo.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
where
toss
is
you
it?
out.
Where is it? There we go.
Oh,
Young
God.
Wolfo
It doesn't even sound like a
sent
fart.
an email called called Names. Hey, BB boys and the nymph Steve found on a toadstool. I'm just gonna say, the subreddit has been calling.
That's me, Alana. God. Wow,
the
ego.
The subreddit has been calling Letty Hippolyta a lot.
What the fuck? Get
to
him
the,
right.
Cut to the first episode where everyone's saying their names 60 times. That's all. I plan on doing my version of Dan's thoughts if you guys are interested, because me and my girlfriend are both watching the show. and both are black, so we both have different thoughts on parts of the episode. Anyways, love you guys. Hashtag you better shoot him.
Yes,
oh,
please.
yeah, where's that clip? Hang
Young
on.
Wolfo.
Here it is.
We want him.
You need to shoot him.
All right, young Wolfo,
I think
thank
that's
you.
still the best clip so far.
It could be,
I think it is.
But anyway, young Wolfo, what do we call you? Young? Please
Do you have a first
Please
name?
Send us Young's thoughts.
How about we just howl? Ready?
Yeah.
No, it's Y-U-N.
Oh, we got wolf thoughts. Wolf thoughts in the house.
Got Alana, it's Y-U-N-G.
I know. I
Yeah,
read it.
Not the word young. So it could
yeah,
be
but
his
it's
name.
Usually it still means young, like
I'm
you
just
know,
saying
like
that could
Lil
be-
Bow Wow.
I'm
It's
just saying that could
L-I-L, but it
be-
means little.
I'm just saying that could be his real name. And we could
He's
call
just
it
Bow Wow now, Alana.
Young blood.
Let him grow up. Let Bow Wow grow up.
We can
Let
call
Bow Wow
it
grow. I like that your
He's
computer's
trying so
shaking.
hard. Let
like
him
you're
grow
hitting
up,
it so hard.
all right?
Let Bow Wow grow up.
We
He's
can
not
Let Bow Wow
little
grow up.
anymore.
Let Bow Wow grow up.
we can call it Young's Thoughts whenever we're
Young thoughts.
we're back.
YUNGTHOTS, or maybe normal thoughts.
All right, Nathan Grunwell sends an email. We haven't been listening to the email music. That's dumb. Hang on, let me pull that up. God, I'm so fucking
wanna start over?
embarrassed. Yeah, let's just start over. Are we recording? You guys don't mind if we start over, right? Anyway, guys, so no, I'm just kidding.
Dear Lord.
Dear.
Nathan Grunwell says, "Hey, it's me, Nathan. Why is the special effects insanely good again?" That's what I thought. Seeing Atticus's flaming house dream in the same episode as skin shedding was a huge difference.
Oh, it was a dream scene, by the way.
Oh, the flaming house dream scene. Yeah.
The information contained in this email may be confidential and privileged. It is intended only for the addresses above. What? You sending me stuff from your, business email?
Shame on
Do
you.
I have permission
apparently.
to read that if everything in the email is secret or whatever?
Confidential.
Confidential? Solomon Enders sends an email saying, Lovecraft Country episode 5. Hey, first timers. Long-time listener, first-time writer in, but I love this episode and had to share some thoughts on it. Directed by Cheryl Dune, the outstanding director of The Watermelon Woman.
Oh, yeah, I heard. That's a short of hers or something we should watch.
Not a fan of Cardigan Backyardigan, Cardi B for the uninformed.
Oh.
But that was the best.
Oh, I actually liked. This is the most I've liked the modern music.
I
But
feel
he
like
said that was the
song
best use
fit.
of her two of her songs ever.
Yeah, agreed. So the use was so good, I wanted to chef's kiss.
I love how the show leaves hints to things it follows up on hints in future episodes. For example, Tick's dad being gay, Christina and male Christina being the same person. What do you think George's wife and daughter are doing since their story wasn't shown this week?
Wondering that.
They're on their little adventure trying to get the truth about Uncle George.
About
Yeah, I forgot about them.
We're halfway
Daddy
through the
George.
show, and we don't know what we're building up to. What do you think comes next? Continue to share your insights and make people's weeks brighter. Hashtag bright yes. Hashtag Alana yes. Hashtag get guest yes. And hashtag guy that does cocaine in the bathroom yes. That's great. Thank you.
I think he means your little orange
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
What? This guy back here?
Yeah.
No, it's a dynamic banter reference.
I
Dynamic.
think it's the orange guy.
Dan the Man sends an email saying, Lovecraft Country strange case. Hello, first timers. Miami Dan is back. Sigh some thoughts. There are some of my thoughts while watching this week's episode. Freaky Friday moment, huh? Again, the scene when the cops show up is so real and so relevant, scarier than any monster. That song is so creepy, but Tonight You Belong to Me. Creepy. That's what it was. It was the song from The Jerk, Owen.
You calling Owen
Was
a
it?
jerk?
The song that Tonight You Belong to Me.
Yeah.
It was the old-timey version of that song.
the oldies, 50s version?
Yeah. The original, I guess. Plastic covers on the floor. What kind of Trump Russian golden shower kind of scene are we going to see? What about some locust? That was an intense tick. Ascot wearing white man looking like Fred from Scooby-Doo. That's the kind of reaction one would expect when they see magic. I would take the money and run. Just the money. What a beautiful spoken word song. This transformation scene is so crazy looking. Wow, what a powerful scene with an amazing Frank Ocean song. Fuck that favor. Wow, that fire hallway looks cheap as hell. Did it really? I didn't notice.
I was not focused.
It did, but it worked because he knew it was a dream. So it had kind of like a stylized vibe. It looked flat. Like the flames looked flat. They didn't look like they were existing in 3D space.
Where do you think Yahida's corpse went?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Was there a
Down in the
corpse in the-
basement? Down in the basement with all the other
You
corpses?
think so?
I'm real curious, I'll tell you that much.
What in the world is that cop half black? I didn't get why the locust thing was in reference to. This transformation looks so painful. Oh my god, that scene. The way Cardi B is used in this episode is fantastic. No surprise with that reveal. So what was the message? This episode was a good building block. I'm excited for what's to come. Miami Dan signing off.
Miami.
Yeah, they did. They were setting up something with the locust.
The locust I thought was about her transformation too.
Oh, so now they're butterflies, and caterpillars, and locusts?
God, I can't keep track of all these bugs.
Well, they were talking about locusts
Listen, some
shedding.
caterpillars turn into moss.
They were talking about locusts
Did you see
shedding
the
their
moth?
skin.
Here's my review of Lovecraft Country. I can't get my head straight about all these bugs. Roberto Abril sends an email saying, hello, boys and girls and guest. Episode 5, the one with the drag queens and the skin shedding. Yeah. I wanted to start out by saying that last week I sent y'all some clips that I'd hoped you guys pulled from episode 4. Well, I'm proud to announce that I have figured out how to use a computer, and I have pulled and attached the clips from last week plus 2 clips from this week's episode. That's a lot of... There's 6 clips in here.
Let's hear them.
Didn't
He's
really
lucky
have a
that
lot
we didn't have a lot
to choose from. Clips aside, this episode was probably one of my favorites so far. I'm really interested in Ruby's storyline, and I'm curious as to where Montrose is gonna go next. You think Tick is gonna find out he's gay and confront him? I guess we'll find out. Also, I was very surprised to see 2 of my favorite 2 drag queens ever, Monet Exchange and Shangela, show up on the show.
Oh, that's great.
Shangela.
I did
Brava.
not expect that at all. Anyways, another great episode sent from my 32 iPhones.
Yeah, those
See,
drag
everyone
queens.
loves this episode, Alana and Steve.
I love it. What
I
are you
didn't-
talking
I
about?
didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it wasn't my favorite.
It was last week's we were arguing over.
All right, here's the first of 6 clips. Here we go.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cockadoodle-doos pecking in your own coop.
Brilliant! Where were we?
Damn, that is such a good
We were too deep.
Damn.
I was in. I was just watching.
Damn.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cockadoodle-doos pecking in your own coop.
Yeah, that's an amazing clip.
That's a great
Bravo.
clip. All
That
right.
borders on like gibberish.
Yeah,
It's
cockadoo
perfect.
doos pecking in your coop. All right, here's the next one. Didn't we hear that one last week?
That was the one last week that we had not pulled, and we were
oh.
hoping we had.
Did you see me jump? Yeah.
Well, fuck you too.
Oh, after the
Yeah.
guitar. When
Oh,
she,
yeah,
when she
yeah,
was playing
yeah,
the
yeah.
guitar.
Oh, mother backends, you bitches.
Mother backends.
Oh, mother backends, you bitches.
Mother beckons.
Yeah,
They
that's
got
great.
dinosaurs.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, they got dinosaurs.
And then the final
Okay,
one.
tree.
George always said Big Old Woody could fit the south side of Chicago if it had to.
All right. The Woody could fit the whole south side of Chicago.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cockadoodle-doos pecking in your own coop.
Y'all little hands wouldn't have nothing
Thank
to cluck
you.
about. You didn't have some cockadoodle-doos clicking at your coop.
Thank you, Roberto.
I almost got it. I said clicking, not clucking.
Clicking, do. Daniel the Echo Spider sends an email saying could not eat dinner afterwards. Hi there,
Yeah.
all in all.
Serious.
Fun fact, I don't deal with body horror well, so this episode was fun. Also, when William stabs White Ruby, you can see Ruby's eye inside her mouth, and I almost
Yeah, I
lost
saw that.
it. This episode was a bit gorier than I personally enjoy. If I never see that body transformation, it will be too soon. Don't take the potion, Daniel. Oh, something I wanted to mention was the transformation is so gruesome and takes so long and is disgusting and messy and awful.
Yeah.
But fucking motherfucker walked into the house and came right out as the girl in that past episode where we were like, are they the same? Because they walked out the door and then came out and they were a different person. But they came out super clean.
And at first you're like, oh, well, because she's been doing it so much, she can just transform real quick. But then they did it in front of us on the episode.
And it was bloody
and she took
gross.
forever.
Yeah. But someone in the subreddit...
She didn't want to reveal all her magic to Ruby right there. She's got a clean off potion, you know it.
Yeah, but someone was saying that...
she's got a shower potion, all right?
Someone was saying that we haven't seen the transformation into the like other person of any of the characters.
Oh, the other way around.
So maybe
Yeah, that is true.
transforming into them is a cleaner...
That is the answer to the question.
There
Maybe.
you go. There you go.
We won't
Okay.
know until we see it.
I feel like an idiot.
You're cocooning.
The cocooning.
Yeah.
You're cocooning.
But
you on the other way, you're coming out the cocoon.
I know.
So you're going to be all bloody and
I
shit.
mean,
But when
Where's
you're
your
cocooning, it's clean.
cock-a-doodle-doo and the cuckoo nest?
I don't know.
Cocooning is clean.
It doesn't really make sense. Let's be honest. If you can change into a completely different person based on your original body shape, you should also have a gruesome transformation.
Well, I mean,
into that person.
the one thing that we're not talking about is that this doesn't exist in the real world. So
Polyjuice potion. Hello.
Yeah, but if
Right.
they're grounding enough of it in reality, they got to be able to.
no, I
explain
think
something like
Alana's
that.
right. It's like zipping up like an outfit you put on the other person.
I don't know. I
But
won't
if
be
you're taking it
convinced
off-
unless we see it. I want to see it happen.
I'm sure we will.
Elizabeth Stevenson
time.
sends an email saying, where were there any funny clips in this episode? Jeez, were there? Elizabeth Stevenson says, hey, first timers, busy from Seattle here. Not too busy to write it again this week, though. I was enthralled with Ruby and William Christina's physical transitions between bodies. I thought the effects were so good, and I could feel the skin tearing. It was gross, but very visceral. That's what Joe describes the whole show as visceral. He's like, this is just a visceral
funny.
show.
The whole show is vasectomy.
But they also mixed it with a lot of like practical stuff too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That helps a lot.
That being said, Ruby's scene with the boss made me wildly uncomfortable. Who was Tick on the phone with? Also,
Obviously.
Can we talk about the music? Moses Sumney, Frank Ocean, Nina Simone, Cardi B. Wow, the soundtrack is another excellent element of this viewing experience.
And she's referencing
Busy.
the bit we made last week when she says busy.
Oh, right, because she wasn't too busy to
I gotta
write
go.
it.
Busy.
Busy. Free proof on funny clips. Here's a reminder.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cock-a-doodle-doos pecking your own coops.
That's my
All
Halloween
right.
costume.
Final email comes from Christine Cartilage.
Cartilage?
No, Cartilage. And it says, who else's anus hurts? Cheers to anal penetration, friends. I'm more referring to Montrose due to the consensual nature. However, I'd be lying if I said I didn't smirk a little bit at Ruby making a red-bottomed Louis Vuitton out of her boss.
Now that is an eloquent way to put that, and I want to just applaud that line. Well done.
Very nice.
So yeah, we should put a warning at the
these
beginning of
money
this episode.
shoes.
We should put a warning
Bloody
at the beginning
shoes.
of this episode. What should it be? Just
Surely.
like, should I just record it now? Hey guys, welcome to the First Time Show. This episode features some triggering topics, so please be advised that we're going to be talking about some sexual assault related things in the episode. Please enjoy the show. There you go.
Are you gonna then cut that out and put that in the front, or
Yeah.
is that gonna stay here?
It'll stay here and it'll be in the front.
Oh, okay.
Just so people see how production
How
is
the egg
made.
is chickened.
All right. Well, that was the last email. So, anybody want to say anything else about the show, Owen? What did you think about the episode, Owen, overall?
Owen overall.
Final
it was
thoughts
pretty
from
good.
Owen.
It was pretty good.
I like that we can see ourselves in the reflection of Owen's TV.
I know, right?
And that guy back there too. Brett, what'd you think of the episode?
I heard it. I loved it. I mean, like, I'm so for it. I love that they are carrying on the macro narrative while giving us like a weekly little Tales from the Crypt story.
Compounding anthology.
Yeah,
anthology.
exactly. Bringing it around. Alana? Oh, sorry.
I just remember.
No, that was it. That was
Oh,
it.
oh.
I was gonna say I would love to see a monster next week if
I
possible.
know. Some would say seeing Ruby transform was kind of monster-like.
Are the
Jekyll
white
and
Sure,
people
but I
Hyde.
mean,
not
like,
monsters enough?
We're
you wanna
getting a
see a creature.
flashback. We saw a little weird ear thing, and I would love to see like a creature. Yeah.
Me
Are
too.
there 3 episodes left?
5.
It's
Is it 10?
10 total. Yeah.
1,
10
2,
total.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought it was 8.
Well,
Wait, I'm telling.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Alana. What'd you?
I have a
final
favorite
thoughts?
line, and I'm realizing I should have just had this as a clip, but oops. My favorite line is when the Christina boy William, when William pulls up and he's looking all hot, and all the ladies are like, "Oh my God, who's me?
Yeah.
Is that your guy?" And one of them goes, "He's with you," and she goes, "Only when he behaves."
And I also love that when he went to kiss her, she like turned for just the cheek, and then she goes like, doesn't she say something like, "I don't want to
No,
kiss
he
you"?
says
and
it.
He
He goes, "You don't want me to kiss you."
and she said, "Not in front of the ladies." or
No,
whatever.
she doesn't want to be kissed while she's white.
Right.
Yeah, and
is
then
what she responds.
But I just like what he said about them being like jealous or whatever. The girls looking over, like I didn't.
Oh,
they
he's like,
didn't
"I don't
seem-
think it would embarrass
Yeah,
you
I don't think
for me
you-
to kiss you."
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right. It wouldn't embarrass you or something. I like that line.
And then it's
too.
also great when he's like, I'll kiss you however you want," or something like
right,
that.
right,
how he
right.
ends it, and you're like, "Yes, girl." Oh, there's another good dude line in this where what's his name? Tick says when he's like, "Please don't be scared of me," and he's like begging her. Ugh. That line like slayed me. It was so incredible. And I looked on like Twitter and in that podcast and stuff, and all these girls were talking about it. I was like, I'm not alone. That was the fucking line.
I also liked that Letty was like clearly afraid of him because of the way that he reacted to what seemingly she thought was Montrose just letting her go, letting her run away. But in reality, Montrose had killed her, and I think it changed her fear, her thoughts on Tick in that moment, and how she seemed herself angry. You know.
Well,
in that
that's
moment.
interesting. That's not how I felt. Go ahead. Sorry.
I like the execution of the scene where she has the baseball bat, because they
Yeah.
didn't cut to that reveal until the end of the scene.
Yeah.
So they're having the conversation first, and then it like reveals the bat that she's been holding the whole
'cause
time.
she's like, "How can I protect myself against this fucking monster?"
right.
Man?
It's just you could have just that's so like clever though to
Yeah.
work it out that way, because you normally would just have her walk into the scene with
I'm
the
telling
bat.
you,
And she's
man.
all afraid, but they kind of like
Letty-
save that moment.
Letty is going to be so important. She's going to be the one this is all about. I think we see more of it every episode.
Steve, when you said that she was afraid of him because she thought he reacted that much just because
Not
his
just
dad...
because, but I felt like that
Oh.
was a factor in it. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I thought it was more because not what incited him having rage against his dad, but the fact that there was a moment when he's punching him where he just loses it and starts like really going at him.
Well, yeah,
and I think
and the
it's
fact
that
that
moment that
he-
she's afraid of. Like, would you have just killed him if
Right,
someone
right.
else
That
wasn't
moment
around?
where he admits that he might have killed him, and he definitely thought about it. I think that that scared her a lot. I think. But
Mhm.
yeah, all that rage really freaked her out. But I think she felt like it was warranted.
Great
Alana,
use of
look out.
bathtubs in this
Great
episode.
use of bathtubs.
Alana, watch out! Steve punched a fridge once.
I did punch a fridge once. I lost my temper. I'm sorry, Alana. I'm crazy.
I have punched
Didn't you
many
break a bone?
pillows,
I
but a
did. I broke
fridge?
my pinky bone. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also said that was the first time you ever like punched anything. like
Yeah,
that.
it was.
Yeah, the first
Your
time he
whole
ever
life.
punched anything, and it's a metal fridge. Guys, come on.
I've always wanted to punch a robot. What can I say? All right. Well, guys, thank you for listening to the show. Thank you to Owen for being our guest. We missed you, my friend.
Miss you guys too.
Yeah, it's fun to hang out and chat about a good show, and we're having a great time. And Brett, thank you once again for pulling the clips and creating the thumbnails for all the video versions of the show if you've been watching us on youtube.com/thevalleycast, where you can see the video version of this show at some point. All of
We
them
do that together. I don't want to take all the credit for
Well,
that, but it's my pleasure.
It's a collab, but you make the
Collaborate. It's
framework
collab,
of it.
yeah.
You put
You
work
make the
into
frame
it.
work.
You make the framework, my friend. But yes, thank you to Brett and thank you to Alana for your thoughts and the stuff you bring to the show. It's very unique, a unique version of the show, and you bring a lot to it, and it's very
thank
nice,
you
and
very
we love
much.
it.
Information being the key thing she brings to the
Yes,
show.
exactly.
Thank you very
And the
much.
female perspective, which is very important as well.
Of course, but like, I don't think we ever researched anything ever.
Oh no. But
It's a hard show because it feels like it begs you to research it.
I mean, that's the
That's
thing.
smart. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it. I do want to hear all that
The
stuff.
show really is it's like begging you to like
Yeah.
do more research into this stuff, and the fact that we're like so close to learning about all these things that our history has buried or doesn't like to talk about or whatever. It's really cool. It's great. It's one of the reasons why I think this show is good no matter what.
Absolutely.
Even if the story starts to falter a little bit.
The
because
fact that it
yeah.
exists
Yeah, I love it.
is a win.
I love it. All right, well,
when
guys.
I do this, does it make my mouth look like it's gone?
A little bit, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time on The First Time Show. Bye.
Bye-bye.